Alright, YouTube, welcome to another one of my stream and one of my new YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about the things that I've said on my last stream. Like, if this were Genshin, I would have stopped by now, because like the only reason I stuck around this game longer than I did with Genshin, right, is honestly because of the skill thing.
Can you keep up?
Like, I hate, like, everyone was like, oh, because this game is like harder than Genshin, it like, you know, it's less accessible to other people. But like, I feel like the reason I stuck around with this game this long, despite like the bad echoes or like the bad gachas, is because like it's still doable even with all those like bad things happening to me. So that honestly, that kind of works with like, I think like that also kind of plays a part with like the whole power creep thing. Is that like, if you don't, this is what a game looks like when they don't have such a massive power creep problem. Is that like, you can, it's the kind of problem, no, actually no, because like the problem with Honkai Star Rail is that like you cannot like you don't have much player agency in like fighting the enemies. Like, it's a turn-based game. How creative can you get in a turn-based game, right? If you guys didn't know, I'm going to address the fact that I said last time about how Genshin and Wuthering Wave does accessibility in a different way. Like, it is accessible in a different perspective. And how is that affected by things like power creep and like luck and etc. And today I've done something incredible with my PC, something that my PC would really hate me for. I've run all the 3 games, as you guys can see in the screen here. They're all these games, they're all running. Oh shit. I almost fell down in the Genshin Impact. You can guys kind of see in the top left there. And also we got the Honkai Star Rail running. And so last time I was talking about how Genshin's battle in a way is much more simplistic, and it makes people like, it gives people less.
In the world below.
Mafuika, really? You gotta talk over me like that? Let me put it on the no audio here, so she wouldn't like bother me. Okay, where was I? Yes, the whole power creep and accessibility issue. So I was talking about last time about how in Wuthering Wave you have more ways to play your game, and it's because the game is more based around like skill. Like, so I'm not talking about skill like the, you know, skills that like your character use. I'm talking more about like the player skill. You know how when people call other people like having a skill issue and stuff like that. I think that's like the crux of the difference. I'm not gonna say like it's an issue. I'm gonna say it's the difference of why Genshin's experience can be more frustrating with like the whole power creep problem. Because, for example, in Wuthering Wave, you can win a game through like, basically I can probably divide it into like 4 perspective. Like 4 ways of like winning in Wuthering Wave, basically. I'm gonna pull up a pane here. Oh, let me side game. Let me see if it works. Doesn't work. Oh wait, does it work? What the hell is that? The display capture is not happy since I'm running so many games at once. So I might have to change the Honkai Star Rail one to kind of like get my point across, and then I'll switch it back. Don't worry, because like Honkai Star Rail also plays a part here, because like Honkai Star Rail is probably like the game that causes all of like this power creep like controversy, right? Especially with like the most recent characters coming, like Castoris having like so much like extra stuff on her, like global passive and everything. making her like less of like a favorite character pull and more of like, oh, if you wanna, if you wanna the extra global buff, you better pull for the new characters. And let me take the side game and then let me change it to pain, and then I'm gonna enlarge it a bit so you guys can see, right? How do I change brush size? Can I change the pencil size here?
May thy
Cannot.
love endure forever,
You get
never ceasing.
so Wuthering Wave. You can do it with 4 things. You can do it with having the character like OP character. Yeah, right? OP character. And then you can have OP weapon. Like I'm boiling down like the basic aspect of the game that helps you win a battle. And then you can have OP like relic equipments, echoes, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I'm gonna use like multiple words so people can understand, like even like on a different game. Relic or echoes, or are they? Right? And then you need to have OP player skill. Like OP player. I'm not gonna say skill. I'm just gonna say OP player. Now, in Genshin Impact, I'm gonna say like in Genshin, I'm gonna use different color. So in Genshin Impact, the player skill has less influence. Like if we were to go to a Wuthering Wave, let's say let's use blue for Wuthering Wave, right? I'm gonna use Wuthering Wave. I'd say Wuthering Wave is closer to something like 25, 25, 25, and 25. You know, it's gonna be a rough. It's gonna be like a rough estimation. Like everything contributes like proper, like in a balanced manner, you know, to the whole balance of the game. So like if you only have like if you have 1 or 2 of them that is like good or like proper. Like, you, for example, you have an OP character and you have an OP weapon, but you suck at the game and like your echoes are like mid or like, you know, even bad. You still have like, in a way, you still have technically like 50% chance of winning, right? And then like for something like Honkai Star Rail, for example, Honkai Star Rail, I'm gonna use green, okay? Honkai Star Rail would be like, the characters would be much more heavier. I'd say gonna be like 40. And the weapon is probably gonna be like closer to like maybe like 15 or like maybe 20. And then this one is gonna be 30. And then this one is gonna be 10. And do you know why I put like the player, like the OP player is so low? It's because like it's because like even the best players, like, right, they cannot circumvent the lack of numbers in Honkai Star Rail. And as a turn-based game, right, like you cannot dodge an attack in Honkai Star Rail, so you have less player agency. So in general, the player just have like the player's skill have less influence in the gameplay. But like if you have if everything is mid, then a good player can maybe can help carry the game, obviously. But like if everything is ass, like if you don't have the character that you need, and you don't have the weapon that you need, and you don't have the relic that you need, and you have like, you know, you have the skill to play it, but even when you have the skill to play it, you still need the stuff that you need to win, basically, in Honkai Star Rail. Meanwhile, in Wuthering Wave, for example, you know, they give you multiple option and multiple like game system, at least like in the current state of the game. Like the perfect example would be something like in Honkai Star Rail, you have like a super break, right? And how many super break carry do you have in the team? Like I'm gonna say like, you know, Firefly would be like the most prominent like super break carry in the team. And if you don't have Firefly, then you just not gonna do super break damage. Like maybe you can do it, but like you're not gonna do it as much as someone like what Firefly do. Like it's gonna be like the difference is gonna be so significant that like a skill might not be able to like bridge the gap basically. And then Genshin would be somewhere in the middle of this. Because I feel like Genshin takes a lot of like inspiration from like the JRPG game, which is like very like number heavy and like number related. And also the way they design the game with like being like elemental reactions, right? So I'd say like for Genshin it'll be closer to something like, you know, maybe 30. And then the weapons is gonna be like, I'd say like probably like closer to 22. Because like the weapon is like, it's good to have, but it's not. Genshin has a lot of like good like 4-star options. So like, you know, the 5-star weapon is ideal, but like it's not really necessary. But the problem comes in like the relics, because like the relics is gonna be like probably like 40. Like it's very dependent on like the relic, like the artifact system. And then you're gonna have, actually maybe not, maybe I'd say I'm gonna say this is like 15 even, because of, as I said earlier, they have like multiple like good 4-star weapon as a game that is like obviously like the oldest like between the three, right? And then the rest goes to like the player, where you can like, where you like good players can obviously like play like, you know, play a part in like finishing Abyss and stuff like that. Like that's why they have a lot of competition for it. But also at the same time, you don't have as much tool as like when you do on like something like Genshin Impact. And most people are gonna be like, why is that? It's because like, for example, in like in Genshin Impact compared to like in Wuthering Wave, Wuthering Wave has like a perfect dodge. Like, yeah, right? Like in Wuthering Wave, you can dodge. You can parry.
May thy love endure
And
forever, never
you have the
ceasing.
stun meter. These are all like stun meter is something like, you know, these two, like Honkai Star Rail, for example. What is Honkai? Honkai is green. Honkai Star Rail only has this stun meter. And then Genshin Impact has a form of this, has a form of dodge, which like you can dodge the area of the attack, and with like the ultimates and stuff like that. So you have a form of dodge, like not a full-on dodge system, but like you have a form of it.
Who's a good boy?
Meanwhile, Wuthering Wave has all of these three. Now, in a way, this means the game is harder because the player has more of an impact in the whole game system in general. Like if the player is bad, basically, like if the player's skill is like 0, if this score doesn't exist, like this 25 doesn't exist, right? That means you only have like 75% chance of winning, which is like compared to other games, like for example, like if you don't have this in Genshin, you have like 85% chance of winning, right? In total. Or if you like don't have this player skill in like Honkai Star Rail, then like you still have 90% chance of winning, like with the proper characters and everything like that. But in Wuthering Wave, the player skill impacts your experience more. At the same time, it also goes the other way, right? So if you don't have the character that you want here, for example, if you don't have the character that you wanted here, you still have 75% chance of winning in Wuthering Wave. It is just much more balanced as a game. Like if you lose this on Honkai Star Rail, you lost 40% chance of yourself winning. And obviously this is not an aggregate number. As I said, this is just more of me of like trying to like represent like the overall experience of the game. Is that like the division between like all the aspects of the game is much more balanced in Wuthering Wave in general. But that also means that like if a player is not as committed in the game, right? For example, like if you're a super casual player, then like Wuthering Wave is not for you, because like you lose, like, you know, not committing to like the player skill impacts your winning rate
May
more
our
than
love
other games. So like if you're just someone that like likes playing the game
never
casually,
ceasing.
then like something like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact would be much more of a fit for you, because like it literally requires less player effort in general. And this is just like from the obviously from the game skill perspective. Oh shit. This is a pencil. This is just talking about like the game skill perspective, right? We're still not talking about like how, like, for example, if you're playing in Wuthering Wave and you got shitty echoes, it impacts, you know, it definitely impacts your performance, but like it doesn't make it completely impossible to win. Meanwhile, like in a game like something like maybe something like wait, was it red? I think red and green is like a mix. I think Honkai Star Rail is more dependent on like something like relics. So I'm gonna say this one is 30, and then the Honkai Star Rail is gonna be like 40, 20. Oh no, wait, math does not compute. 30, 40, 50, 100, 30, 50, 50. Damn. My math does not work. My brain does not work. I cannot change the number just like that. I have to change the whole number because like they all get affected. But I think I should definitely tweak this number. But I think like my point is that like the Genshin Impact definitely has like less reliance on the relics, like the whole system, artifact system. But it's still much more reliant than something like Wuthering Wave. And why is that? Because of the game system to begin with. Like that's what the point I'm trying to make. Like these number are just like trying to explain it in a more like understandable manners. Like it's not an aggregate number, as I said earlier, but it's just like if you're playing Genshin Impact and like you're fighting a boss that is like, for example, a tier higher than you,
never ceasing.
you better pray to God you either have like a shield character and that the enemy doesn't one-shot you. Because like sure, like if the enemy for example is doing like an AoE attack, let's see. So like let's say that the guy is here, right? And he's doing an AoE attack like this. Sure, you can go out of the way. That's technically dodging, right? That's technically dodging out of the AoE, but like it's not a real dodge where like, for example, in like Wuthering Wave, you can just keep attacking the enemy. And then when the attack happen, you can just dodge, do a perfect dodge, and like do a counter attack, which like depletes the stun meter even more. And like that's what I'm saying with like the player skill matters more. Like can in a way help people like stay in the game longer, as long as people are willing to commit to the game. So like this aspect will not be like interesting for people that are like casual about games, like that people that doesn't like spending too much time on games. This will not be appealing for people like that, because I would rather have like big numbers go boom and like, you know, I'm gonna pick Chong-Li. Do I have Chong-Li on this account? I don't think I have Chong-Li on the America server. But like let's say I'm gonna like, let's go to the Genshin real quick here. Shit. Where is the Genshin? Alright. We're gonna go to the Genshin here real quick, and then we're gonna be like, okay, so I know this dude is gonna deal so much damage. So what if I use 2 healer instead of 1? Or I'm gonna bring Furina, which has like, you know, one of the character that like relies a lot on like HP. And like she will tank most of the damage for me. Like whenever like some attack happens that I cannot dodge, I'm just gonna switch to her. She's gonna tank the damage for me, and then I'm gonna switch back to another character. right? Meanwhile, like a Wuthering Wave, for example, I'm gonna have to bring back Wuthering Wave. And like in Honkai Star Rail, like, you know, in Honkai Star Rail, it's even worse. You just straight up like, okay, if this dude is gonna deal a lot of damage, then I should, I should just get like a freaking tank, like a literal, like, you know, I need to bring a literal like tank
There you
character
are.
into my lineup, like kind of like what I am doing like here. And if you guys see in the Honkai
Who's
Star
a
Rail
good
page
boy?
there, where is Honkai Star Rail? There we go. In the Honkai Star Rail, I'm gonna show you guys my lineup. If you guys can see, I have a Venturin, which is like, this is a necessity. Like the player, like, you know, I mean, you could argue that's a player skill to realize that like, oh, I need a tank in my lineup. But I feel like that's like, I think that's less of a skill and more of like a like words to live by. This is basically like, you know, no matter how skilled you are, like the skill gap doesn't matter basically,
Who's a
because everyone knows that, like, you know, in order to win, you need a tank, and then you need a DPS, which, you know, Akron happens to be my DPS in this lineup. And then you'll need like a, you know, a sub DPS or maybe a buffer, you know, like these two are like interchangeable depending on like what you need. Like for example, Akron requires like another nihility character, so we're gonna put Jiaochu here. And then like Sparkle works well with like Akron's like damage, so we're gonna put her here as a buffer. But like some people runs 2 DPS and stuff like that, and the composition doesn't matter. That's, you know,
Huh?
at the end of the day, some characters have to stay in the team. Like a tank, for example,
There
you need a tank.
are.
And
Who's a
and
good
I think that's
boy?
why like these like the Hoyo games, like at least these 2 games that I'm using as an example, is like less flexible in terms of like accessibility. Is that like there's less player agency in these 2 games, and accessibility in a different way, I think. I don't want to say like accessibility as in like everyone gets to play it, because like this also makes the games easier to play. This makes the games easier to get into.
Are.
Like if you're trying to like stick like think of it like as a kiddie pool, like as like a swimming like a short swimming pool for like kids, right? Like everyone can enter there. Like not everyone is gonna like it, especially adults. Like if you're gonna come to the swimming pool and like it's like knees deep, like, you know, most people wouldn't like it, but you can technically enter them. Everyone can. Meanwhile, Wuthering Wave is more of like a deeper swimming pool. I'd say like it's probably closer to like maybe like a teen, like, you know, a young adult like swimming pool, like the ones with like 3 meters deep and stuff like that. Because,
May thy
you know, if
love
you put
endure
kids in there,
forever.
kids can also swim
Never
as long as
ceasing.
they know how to swim, right? But the people that are like, the people that the better you are at swimming in the swimming pool, the better you will enjoy like the experience. And let me bring back the pain again, because I haven't finished explaining like the problem too. And the problem is that like the skill player, like the skill aspect, like imagine like this number, like let's go back to these numbers and use it as an example again, right?
Never ceasing.
Maybe we should like maybe red should be like HSR. I think red makes more sense as an HSR. Except on these part, I feel like the player skill, you need more skill on like Genshin Impact than you do on like Honkai Star Rail, I think. Wouldn't people agree with that?
Huh?
Actually no. Maybe we shouldn't use the number. Maybe we should just use this for aspect as like a way to like explain things better. Let me erase the numbers so people don't get confused with it moving forward. How do I make this bigger? I really wish I prepared more. I should probably have prepared more. like so I can do a better job and like waste less of your guys' time. You know what? I have an idea. Wait, why? Let me just color this white.
Huh?
Instead of like trying to erase everything, I'm just gonna color it white. There we go. Problem solved, guys. See, this is called thinking outside the box.
Who's a good
But I'm gonna color this. I'm gonna like erase basically this colors away so it doesn't get in the way of me explaining the stuff up. There we go. So, let me go back to the brush. Brush and black. There we go. So we all know that that earlier I was talking about how like player have more agency in Wuthering Wave compared to Honkai Star Rail and compared to Genshin Impact. The problem comes because every other aspect of this, like this diagram right here, is all luck based. If you guys think about it, in a gacha game, everything else here is luck based, which means if you're bad at this, if you don't get the character that you want, this is the point that I was talking about last time. So if you don't get the character that you want, and you don't get the weapon that you want, and you don't get the echoes or like the relics or like the artifact that you don't want, on those two other games, you cannot do as much compared to like Wuthering Wave because the game is designed in a way to not rely too much on player skill, like on those two other games. Meanwhile, in Wuthering Wave, just like the swimming pool, if you know how to swim, you get to enjoy it more. But like in the kids swimming pool, which I think those two other games are like more closer to be, doesn't like your swimming skill does not matter as much. Does that make sense? Do you guys think it makes sense? Because I think it makes sense in a way. I mean, that's why I pointed out, right? Because I think it makes sense for me. Is that like if you're on these two other games, you are more reliant on numbers. I think yeah, this is the point that I'm trying to make. Why the game is more reliant on number. Obviously, like all three games that I've been talking about so far, Wuthering Wave, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact, they're also reliant on numbers. At the end of the day, they're still reliant on number. Like for example, in Wuthering Wave, sure, I can beat like an open world like bosses with like level 1 characters, right? But like if I'm entering like a certain like domain or challenges with like timers or like with like specific like game mechanics, then like I probably wouldn't be able to win still. They're not designed that way at the end of the day. This is not like Elden Ring where you can finish the whole game with level 1 characters, right? I think that would be like the golden standard, I think. The golden standard I would use is in comparison to every one of these games would be like something like Elden Ring where you can like where it's like a full-on player agency where you can finish every single bosses in the game, fight every mob, every secret in the game without even leveling up or even changing your gear for that matter. And now that one is a game that is like fully reliant on like player skill. Like the player skill plays a part. Like if I were to give a number to that, I would be like, you know, that would be like a 70, and then like, you know, everything else is like it's like 10 for like something like Elden Ring. Elden Ring doesn't even have like different characters, right? So it all depends on like your weapons and like your equipments basically. So maybe like 15, and then like 70% on the player skill. Now that would be like the kind of games I would like. But also, that would be too demanding for the majority of players that are playing gacha games. Like, you know, if this is for, like, if someone were like Saint Tontas or like someone like Rexland, for example, were to play the game with like something like this, they would be fine. They'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I can handle that. But like, you know, 90% people out there are not Saint Tontas or Rexland or like, you know, let me solo her. Like people that can like no hit run bosses, holograms, or like I don't know, Millennia, an Elden Ring boss, by the way. Like if you guys don't know about it. So yeah. At the same time, the point that I was trying to make earlier again, all of these are like chance based. Everything here, like there's three, they all like chance based. The only thing you can fully rely and improve upon is player skill, like consistently improve. Everything else is luck. That also makes it why for something like Wuthering Wave, if I'm unlucky with the character, right? If I'm unlucky with the character and I'm unlucky with the weapon banner too, and I'm unlucky with the echoes, I can still manage to play the game longer. Compared to something like Genshin, this is also like why I was like explaining last time, like why I quit Genshin is because like all of these experience was bad. It's because like even though I have the skill to like, even though I can beat like, even though like I can beat some of the enemies in the game, it's just not worth the effort anymore with how long it takes and like how much effort of like player skill that I have to put into to get the reward. For example, like if I'm fighting like an artifact domain in like Genshin Impact, right? And like it takes me 5 minutes, and then like if those 5 minutes gets me rewarded, but like with like a semi decent or like even like god roll like artifact, that would be fine. But like if I'm grinding for a whole month and it's shit every time, and I'm not winning my banner, like, you know, my banner pulls, my gacha pulls, then like what is the point of like me playing the game? Because I'm not getting the character that I wanted. I'm not getting the weapon that I wanted. I cannot build the character that I have. So I cannot win against most of the content in the game. And I think that's why in a way, Genshin is more accessible to people that doesn't want to play games too much. But Wuthering Wave is more accessible to games, to players that likes games. Because your effort is being graded differently in these two games. That will be my full address to like my last statement. I hope like it, I feel like I did a bad job here explaining, but I hope like the point that I'm trying to get across is much more clearer and like hits closer to like the mark. And I hope I'll see you guys again on my next YouTube video.
Oh, there you are.
But yeah, do I have anything else to maybe I can do like an actual example. I think that's the reason why I was trying to get like all these games running at the same time. I was trying to show people like an example. We're gonna use like Honkai Star Rail to like elucidate, like trying to explain my point that I was like saying in the whole thing in general earlier. Oh wait, this is Wuthering Wave. So let's use like a domain, right? Let's use the I'm gonna claim all the rewards first. Wait, no, don't cancel that shit. Let's pick like a leveling domain, right? I'm gonna use like a stamina, like 60 of them. Now imagine like in like, you know, I can have like the god roll characters, right? Like I don't even need like the fact that you can auto this game kind of shows you that like how like less reliant the game is to the player skill. And that was the point I was trying to point out. And also like the fact that like why power creep is such a bad thing for like games like Honkai Star Rail. How it is both like necessary, and power creep is necessary in every game. But the fact, but the way that like Honkai Star Rail specifically doing it is not the best. Because like for example, I have Akron right now. My Akron struggle. Like if you're trying to fight like for example the MOC, which is like basically one of the game like end game mode of this game specifically. Oh, they reset again. So this one's might be better because like this one, for example, like increase all allies make max HP by 30%, right? So that at least affects everyone because everyone has an HP bar. But the one last time, the last one was really not cohesive with like characters like Fei Xiao and Acheron. And what I'm scared of is like this character is not even years old, like Acheron. When I was like complaining about the last time, like the last battle being too hard, it was because like this character was not even a years old when they already got like basically kicked out of the meta. And I was still winning at the end, but the investment that I make on this character was so much that like winning is like basically an expectation from my end. And why also like someone like Castoris, for example, like which is like a character that's gonna like just having the character gives you the buff, can set like a bad like example for like the direction that the game is moving. Because I think like I saw a post in Twitter about like how like I don't have the character here, but like how like Silver Wolf back then would allow you to give like an enemy character like a certain like elemental weakness based on like your team, right? And the newest upcoming character like Anorexus or something like that, like the guy, the white-haired guy, he was able to give enemies like every weakness in the game. So like basically what they did last time like with Silver Wolf was like testing the water. And like now they double dip and like they double down on that system and just like, hey, now we got Silver Wolf plus max, like pro max, you know. And what if the same thing happened with Castoris? And this also like the whole reason this is a problem in a way is also because like you are very reliant on like everything but the player's skill in this game. Like for example, like you can have like, you know, you can have the best character in the game, right? Like for example, like let's have like Acheron like this, right? But like imagine if there's like if the Acheron does not wear like a relic. Like imagine it, let's take all of this off. Like let's take all of this off, right? Like, let me see, can I like set, do I have like a relic set here? I don't have a relic set. Fuck, I have to like put this all back later myself. Let's remove all that. Like, look at this. Like, she might be the most OP character in the game, but that doesn't fucking matter. Like, without the relic, she's shit. She's not gonna win anything. Like, even if she's like E6, right? And that's because like, in a way, that's because the game is turn-based. But at the same time, it kind of shows you why like a power creep on this kind of game, like too much power creep on this kind of game, is what I'm trying to say, it's bad. And Castoris might be the Silver Wolf of global buff, you know, where like, oh, like, you know, Castoris is gonna be the only one that do that, and then 2 years later, okay, you guys were fine with Castoris last time, so here's like a character, like, you know, here's Nanook, like the freaking Aeon of Destructions, and like if you have him, the enemy instantly dies. So now everyone has to pull for him. Like who the hell will not pull for him, right? Like obviously this is like a really like hyperbole like example. But I really hope that gets the point across. I have to fix this later, by the way. So let me just close that one. And then we're gonna move to the Genshin and like try to elucidate my point on Genshin 2. So in Genshin, since you can still like control your character to a certain extent, obviously it's not as good as like something like Wuthering Wave with like the perfect dodge and the perfect parry and everything like that. And I will you know, I'm gonna try to show you guys why it matters. Like right now, we're gonna have like a, is that an enemy? No, he's not even alive. I'm gonna try to find an enemy. Let's try to find like a boss like from the earliest area, right? Like super simple, like super easy as like an example.
Oh, there you
Oh, the fact that
are.
you cannot even teleport to the boss. I'm like, Wuthering Wave spoils me.
Oh, who's a good boy? Hmm.
So let's say like this is the game, the way the game designed, right? Like the game has like something called elemental reaction, which is like if you have like red and like, you know, fire and electro, they cause an explosions. But guess what? That kind of that system, it does not matter if your level is not as high as you need it to be. Like, let's see. She's a level 40, right? This guy is a level 80. Or like 90 even. 90. Yeah, 90. Look at that. Wow.
Oh,
And look at
there
like how
you
much damage I can
are.
do to him.
Oh,
It is so little
who's a good boy?
that like the health does not even increase, like decrease, right?
Oh.
And the problem is that I cannot get hit at all in this, like, you know, game mode. And like you can see, I can kind of dodge attacks like by like straight up walking to the side. But at the same time, I just have to play like super passive and safely, because like if anything happens and like if I'm within like the AoE of the attack, or like if the bosses are doing something like, oh shit, like, oh, I'm like almost dead. So you can see like there's a dodge system in this game. It's just not fully fleshed out. As I said earlier, it has some form of dodging. For example, if you use like an, I think if you use like an ultimate, like when they were like doing this, like they would be, you know, they would not be killed by an attack. But you guys can see how like passive I have to play basically. Meanwhile, if I have the character that I need it and like the weapon, you know, see, if I have if I have the characters properly built, you know, I got the OP character,
Oh, there you are.
and then I have
Oh, who's a good
the
boy?
weapon that she needs, and like all the echoes too, then this boss is like an instant win. Like it's super easy. So like it does have some player skills required in the game, but compare it to something like this. Let's try to compare it to like something like this. Like we're gonna small down the Wuthering Wave. Yeah, we're gonna small down the Genshin Impact, and I'm gonna take a Wuthering Wave, right? Let's use him. Let's use like Crownless. Crownless, I think like it's the first boss you ever meet on the game. So I think it's like it'll be like a good. Oh my god, Wuthering Wave does not like me running multiple games at the same time. So let me do some stuff real quick on Honkai Star Rail, and then I'll close it down because I think I already made my point across. That way I can run the Wuthering Wave again. Okay. Yeah. I guess my PC are just not powerful enough to run 3 games at the same time. What the hell is this? Did they just put an ad on the game? Wait, I just realized this. There's an ad for like the, okay, no. This is an Archon quest. Okay. I was like, is that like a banner for like like a like a notice for like the quick updates or something like stuff like that? Like, oh, like this is what's gonna happen in like the new version of the game. That would be bad. I would not like that. But I think it's just funny that they put that there, like kind of like an ad. I think it doesn't show you the login screen. Yeah, it does not. So it should be fine. This is gonna be like pretty long video. I was hoping this video would be like slimmer and leaner. But I guess I feel like I have to explain, like to show like a proper example so people can actually like take an example on this game. Like people, like instead of like me trying to like jot it down with numbers earlier, I probably should have do this instead. Maybe I should do another more refined version of this video down the line. It's assuming like if people like have like receive the previous like this video like well. Maybe I'll do like a refined version where I just do like the showcase of the game immediately. So okay, maybe these characters are not good with like parrying. I'm gonna try to like give like an example that I have more faith in. So I have like some characters that are like leveled properly, but like not really built, like not that well built, right? So I'm gonna pick those 3 characters. Let's see. There, right? I'm gonna pick these 3 characters, and then if you guys can see here. So first of all, like, oh man, the lag. Ooh, the lag. The game is not happy. Let me see if I can like pause the Genshin and like make it even more like easier to run. Okay, if I pause this game, I think like the Wuthering Wave should be much better. Like this. There we go. So you guys can see I can like be more aggressive in this game and like enjoy more of the action. Even with like characters like, keep in mind like this character is like level 70, right? This character is also lower than the enemy. And like if you see the build, I mean, he has some build, but like let's save preset. Let's see. I'm gonna put Ling Yang here. I'm gonna put it as a preset so I can like go back to it later, and then I'm gonna take it all off. Okay. I cannot perform it during the battle. Fuck.
I see my wake. I see my
Okay, so Kalcharo is weaker in this regard, like in terms of like the stats, and like even like Yang Yang is not that good. So like we're gonna try to use Yang Yang. Right? If you guys can see here, I can afford to be like more aggressive and like enjoy the game more, even though my level is lower. Obviously, I still have to be like, more careful, since like my level is lower, and like if you guys see like later, if I ever get hit, you're gonna see that like the damage is not a joke either. But like the fact that the fact that you can parry, makes the games much more fun. See, and you can even stun. Like the fact that you can stun the enemy, which like gives you even more time to like hit the enemy even more, right? Makes the game even more fun. Because there's multiple ways to beat the enemy rather than just like having numbers. Like you can see, like the health damage is not a joke. But like with the proper dodging, see, with the proper skill dodge, I can still survive. Meanwhile, you guys saw earlier. Well, I mean, you guys saw earlier, right? Like when I was getting hit by the character, like I lose a lot more health. Oh wait, I died. That's crazy.
My time to shine.
target confirmed. All is fair in war. Exterminate. Misery follows.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to finish the boss real quick, and then we're gonna end the YouTube video right there to give you guys like a point.
Saw that coming. Saw that coming. Too slow. Stand down.
Oh shit.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Oh no.
Drumbeat strong, ill fortune gone. Let's play hide and seek.
Oh shit.
No matter what.
There we go. We beat it. You saw how I struggle a lot in this game, but the battle itself is much more fun. Like, keep in mind, I'm using all like if you guys compare it to like the Genshin Impact earlier, right? Like these characters, all 3 of them,
I see
they're
my
maybe
way
half
clear.
built, Like they're not maxed out. They're just half built. Randomly. 49% crit rate. Who likes 40 like crit rate under 50, right? And like this is 48, and then this is like 31. And you can say like, oh, the crit damage is high, but like look at the attack and look at the level of the characters, the HP, and like the whole stats in general. And like meanwhile, like earlier when I was like playing Genshin, for example, I think that obviously my Casca, I think, is like definitely like weaker. Yeah, she's definitely like weaker, way weaker, right? Because like she's not built or anything like that, and like the weapon is not even like hers. But also like how like the gameplay itself, like assuming like let's pick a better comparison. Let's see if I have a party that can like better like kind of like compare to like the Wuthering Wave one. So the cast guy is 40, but like she's not high enough level. Let's see. Let's use someone like, oh yeah, the complexity of the game comes from the elements, right? Like let's use this. Let's use these because like you need characters like like if you're fighting an electro boss, then like this electro element straight up like out of the window. So we're gonna use something like this, okay? Right? Let's use something like this. You guys can kind of see like the face is still similar, but like if I'm getting attacked like that, I just straight up have to like go away. And like in a way it's harder to compare because also the bosses itself, they're like in general much more simplified. Like if you guys look at the attack of what the enemy was doing, right? A lot of the attacks are like slower. So the game, I mean that, but that's more of a game difference, right? Like oh shit, I died. Oh my god, he died too. Using MC is probably better representing the majority of player. Maybe you're right. I think my MC in Genshin Impact is probably like more. I commit more on the MC because I used to use I was an MC main. I'm not saying his build is perfect, but I think I committed more to him. Let's see. Let's do that. I keep forgetting about the buttons to like do the party system. Let's see. This is the part where you see me struggle to put like to give an example. So this is all for, well, that's not a good example. I'm gonna use the party that I used to use. Okay, how about that? I think that's like simpler. This is how I used to do it. I used to not rely on healer. I rely more on like food to heal my characters, and like I try to kill the enemy as fast as possible. And then like in Wuthering Wave, I'm also gonna try to do it the same way. Let me heal the characters in Wuthering Wave first. Right, I'm gonna heal, and then I'm gonna use the character that the team that they gave you at the start of the game. So so Rover, Yang, and Chisha. Oh, my Chisha is built though. Maybe someone like, maybe Baichu, like a healer. Or maybe a healer. No, I don't use the healer. Never use healer. Why would you, the offense is the best defense. And we're gonna try to, well, fighting the boss is just straight up a bad idea for this, because like 2 of the characters doesn't even work. 2 of my characters just straight up does not work with like the elemental cube, like with the like electro cube, like so Maybe wind cube. Oh my god, I have to run there.
Buoyant and languid.
This is also plays a part of like how like annoying the game feels like the slower the like because like back then it's fun the first time when everything is slow because you get to like slowly explore the world. But when you have to like oh wait you can teleport there now. Wow. Oh no, they just teleport you to like the closest waypoint. Oh shit, it's almost an hour. I'm trying to finish this video in under an hour. I know this is all recorded and everything, but I just want to let you guys know I really hope this video, like this example I'm giving you guys, is worth the extra time in the video.
Let's not dwell on it.
Because like all of these parts is like in a way it's like unplanned, or at least I wasn't planning it to be like this. Oh shit, I forgot that like he's like wind. So we're gonna use this. This is how I play it usually back then. I mean, as you guys can see, like it's working, right? Obviously. Like the damage. But also like this is also like one of the easier boss, right? But you guys see how like the most of the time the dodges involves more like hey, this boss is gonna attack in this specific direction or like specific area. Walk somewhere else. It's less dynamic, I think.
With every meeting
Oh shit.
comes
Oh,
the
shit.
inevitable parting.
Did I not food?
Let's not
Who the
dwell on
who the hell took the food out? Oh, it must be one of my friends. He probably like used all the food away, so like I don't have anything left. And like then there's the boss. The boss has like specific mechanics that is like not even fighting like involved, like right? Which I think like plays a part in like the example. Oh my god, I couldn't even get this the last one. Because the flying is so I'm not used to like the gliding system anymore. Gliding really is not faster, Fenty. And then you still have to kill it again. I know this is like a game like this is I feel like this is like the way Genshin have been doing their games for so long, and I think that that's like the Hoyo principle in general, which makes more sense in that like most of the fights are gimmick fights,
Where will the wind take you?
which makes sense because they're on like I said they're on the principle of like trying to rely less on the player skill and more on like the things that they can provide you instead of like things that you can provide to the game. Well, no, instead of like the things that you can invest in the game, like your skill. Like instead of player agency, they rely more on like you following the
Buoyant and
The-
languid.
the way they design the
Where will the
game.
wind take you?
And that's why like gimmick fights exist. And like meanwhile, like let's do the Genshin, like let's do the Wuthering Wave again. This time we're gonna use the, as you guys can see, I'm using cheat. This is all the characters and like that you can get like from the beginning when you started playing the game. And this is the same boss that you get to fight like during the first game, the first part of the game.
Let me be. Precipitously.
Moment of resonance. I sense your weakness.
Heads up. Think you can catch up?
Oh shit! I did not know he can do that. What the fuck?
It's morphin' time. Let me be your blade.
Swift and resolute. No hesitation. Hopefully this helps.
Oh, bring it on. I'll fire it up. Serenade.
And look at that. And you guys gotta keep in mind, like that in the Genshin account, right? In the Genshin account, where is Genshin? My Traveler is level 90. My Xiangling is 80. My Fischl is 80. My Mona is 50. So Mona is definitely like lower level. And also, I was using a different account back then, so like my Mona is more built on the other account. Like the whole characters in general is more built on the other account, because like this account struggled less in the gacha department. But I'm just trying to give an example. So this is Fischl, you know, high attack. I mostly use her for the bird again. That's why I put the higher damage, like high attack stuff. And Xiangling is the same thing. It's mostly just energy recharge, ultimate, and like the attack, right? And then the Traveler is like the main hitter, which like it's not even like optimal, but like, you know, as you guys can see, he's still doing damage.
Buoyant and languid.
And in general, I'd say like, you know, 3 out of like the 75% of the team is built, other than the Mona, right? And to be fair, Mona, I didn't even use her that much like in the last rotation. And it's like in the same state of like with Wuthering Wave, because like in Wuthering Wave, my MC is built, like properly built. Like I think my MC, actually no, I think the most proper build would be like from Chisha, actually. If you guys can, oh, my game is kind of like being covered. So you guys can see Chisha is like level 80, attack, proper crit rate, crit damage, and all that stuff. The MC is doing all right. It's like he's maxed out just like the other MC on the Genshin game. But like he definitely has like less numbers compared to Chisha, and like Yang is just there. She's level 50. She's not built for the most part. Like she got some upgraded echoes, but like it's echoes that is like random. Like as you guys can see, like it's not, I'm not really focused on her stat, just more on like her having echoes in general. But you guys can see that like in Genshin, it's much more numbers game. It's less reliant on skill than in Wuthering Wave, because in Wuthering Wave earlier, you guys can see I have to weave through the attacks, I have to dodge, I have to hit at the perfect time to like parry the enemies, and everything that I did there rewards me with like the stun meter going down and then the boss getting stunned, right? Meanwhile, on Genshin Impact, the only thing that the game rewards me for is getting out of the attack's way, which rewards me with not dying, right? Obviously, that's my main point. And having higher number, because like if if I have higher number, they just die, and if I don't have higher number, they die, but slower. There's no way for me to like close the gap otherwise. Maybe like with the elemental reaction, if you guys saw earlier, I was using like the Xiangling, and the Fischl goes really well with the explosions and everything like that. But that's less of a skill, right? That's not skill, that's the game system, right? You know, if you put fire and you put electro, you go boom boom. And boom boom deals damage.
Another day, another heroic me.
And I think that's where like they try to simplify the gameplay in order to make the game more accessible. Like that's the whole analogy about like the swimming pool comes back, like we come back to, is that like the game feels more like a kiddie pool, where like everyone gets to swim on a swimming pool that is like less than a meter deep. So if you really like playing game, if you really like to sweat out on a game, or like if you really like putting in effort and like learning in the game, there's just less things for you to do in Genshin than it is on like a Wuthering Wave. It has less depth in general, and you are more reliant on like the whole like, you know, the artifact stuff like these. Well, you better pray to God like these came out good, because otherwise you're just not winning. Meanwhile on Wuthering Wave, let's see, I'm gonna I'm gonna go here,
Okay,
right?
Another heroic me.
Actually, let's do this. Chisha. All right, I'm gonna put Chisha here. I'm gonna take all the echoes out. I'm gonna Yang Yang, and then I'm gonna pull out her echoes, and then I'm gonna put Rover here, and I'm gonna take the echoes out. So you guys can see numbers are ass.
I will,
It's probably gonna take way longer for me to win.
Another heroic me.
I will be there for everyone.
But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's much more possible. Like it's probably like much more possible for me to win this, even if the numbers are ass.
Wuthering.
You guys can see like the health bar, it's already decreasing. Like you guys kind of see like the what like the things that you're doing are doing something already.
Swift and resolute. Moment of resonance.
Oh, bring it on. I'll fire it up. Serenade. Don't worry.
Oh wait, that's crazy. I didn't know he can like throw his fucking thing like that. He usually does not last this long when I'm using my full build. So I didn't know some of the moves that he has even.
I think
That's also a thing in Wuthering Wave. Higher level enemies have more moveset.
Let be the
In Genshin, like they all stay the same. The only thing that changes numbers.
Hear my command.
Higher level, higher numbers.
the hour is
Deals more damage, have more health. From killing you in 2 hits to killing you in 1 hit.
Oh, bring it on. I'll fire it up. Still. Precipitant.
no hesitation.
Let be the Oh, bring it on. Heads up. I can do this all.
Oh shit, I got so used to like using ultimate in Q with Genshin
The end has come.
now that I forgot that the ultimate in Wuthering Wave is on R. Wrong button. I was pressing the wrong button and I paid the price for it.
Shake the shapeless.
Swift and resolute.
Or do I really need to kill the boss like this? I guess I do. I have to get the point across that like player skill can carry you in this game. Oh fuck.
Last chance.
Oh man. These moves that are like the hardest to judge. Just because of like there's so many hits that he's doing.
Let be the Serenade.
I sense your moment of resonance.
Let be the Tempest.
Swift and resolute. No hesitation. The end has come.
Let be your blade. Precipitant.
Strike in the shadows. I sense your weakness.
See? I literally took all my echoes out, fight a boss, and can still win. Just by purely playing well. Now you can do the same in Genshin in some bosses. Because some bosses are just straight up almost impossible. Well, I think you can do it in all, but like Wuthering Wave just supports that kind of play style more. And that's why I say the game is more accessible in some areas. In other perspective, like accessible not as in for casual players, but accessible for players that are
This
willing
is a
to put in
testament
effort
to
in the
my
game.
connection with the world around me.
Because
It's very
even if your
much I will be
echoes
there
are
for
ass,
everyone.
like keep in mind,
As
this
we
is
head
like, you
toward
know,
our
this is
shared
like free.
future,
This is
leaving
a
the past
this is a free
behind.
characters that I'm using.
Another day,
The weapons are
another
like standard
award
like this weapon specifically is standard banner weapons. This is like a 4-star weapon. This one is also a 4-star weapon. So, yeah. I hope this example that I gave you guys serves like a good point and like a good example. Well, keep repeating the same word. I really hope this showcase kind of serves like as a good example on like why power creep can be worse in some games than others, like depending on like even though even if the power creep is on the same level, it can still be affected by like the accessibility of the game itself. And those two other games, those two other Genshin games that I've mentioned earlier, they already have like, they already trying to limit your accessibility to the game itself, like the player agency. So them having power creep on top of that just make the whole game like even worse as in general. Because like we're not even touching about the fact that like Wuthering Wave is doing less power creep than these two games, right? It's just like the problem in general is just being exacerbated. It's like being amplified by the fact that the game doesn't want you to have as much influence in the game. Like for Genshin, I'm talking about for Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, of course. But yeah, I think I've yapped long enough. I feel like I've gone around on some of the topic way too much. I didn't really make a script for this, so this is more of like me free flowing through. That's why also why like some of the examples are like definitely like unplanned and everything like that. But I really hope it gets the point across again. Thank you so much for watching until the end, guys. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the video. Leave a comment if you like, or if you don't, or if you think like if I'm wrong, feel free to leave a comment too and like say why am I wrong. But please do like put like a proper reasoning, like put like a reasonable like, you know, words on like why am I wrong, and try to explain your point of view. I'll definitely like read that. And I'll see you guys again on my next video. Bye bye.